Hey fungi friends, we are going to bread and fry some chicken of the woods mushroom here. So I cooked this down, roasted it for about half an hour after cutting it into slices, and I actually had this frozen, but I've found more chicken of the woods, so I need to start using up the stuff I had so I can have more. But I'm gonna go ahead and set up a dredging and frying station here. So I'm just going to kind of show you guys what I'm doing as I go along here. Make sure I have the right sized bowl for the right job. So we're going to go flour, egg wash, breadcrumbs. That's our workflow. Okay, so nothing fancy here. Just kind of doing the basics of a dredge and fry. So it helps to have a first step where they're kind of dry, and I'm gonna season every step here. So the first step here, we'll get salt. Good amount of salt in here. Good amount of porcini powder. I'm probably going to put porcini powder in like every step here. There we go. Sorry, you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm used to the vertical orientation where you're able to see more of this all at once, but let's see. So we'll do our eggs. Just crack these real quick. Oops. Woozy daisy. A little practice of my egg cracking apparently. Okay. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of water to this egg wash too to help extend it. Because usually when I fry chicken in the woods like this, the egg wash is the thing that I run out of the most quickly. I often end up having to use more eggs, so we'll stir a little bit of water in, because all we're doing is just using the egg wash to kind of adhere the breadcrumbs. So we lay down a nice dry layer of the flour with porcini powder and salt. We're going to put some porcini powder into the egg layer here, along with some salt. It's important to season every step of what we do here. I'll go in with a good amount of oregano. And then our last step is going to be panko breadcrumbs. So these are nice, really nice, crispy breadcrumbs. Panko is pretty interesting. The way they make it, panko, so Japanese style breadcrumbs, they take a screen, like a window screen, and they paint it with the breadcrumb batter, and then they electrify the whole screen and knock the breadcrumbs off. So you get this very sharp and crispy kind of breadcrumb, versus like if you took bread and just milled it up in a food processor or something like that, you get a very different texture out of the panko than you do out of a normal breadcrumb, and it's extra crispy, and it doesn't tend to get as soggy, I feel like, when you are doing stuff with it. So let me get this all mixed up. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just fry these chicken of the woods mushrooms. I'm gonna get a pan started here, warm it up, and I'll probably do these in batches. So I'm gonna go ahead and dredge everything and kind of stage this in batches. And to do this the right way, it really helps to kind of have an order of operations when you do this kind of stuff. Whenever you fry, you want to be really methodical about, like, you know, what touches the wet ingredients, what touches the dry ingredients, that kind of thing. So put some garlic powder into our various mixtures here. Sometimes too I'll put rosemary in this last dredge, but I don't feel like running outside right now, so I'm going to just put just a the crumbs here. Okay, so here's our flour. Just mix that up by hand, get it all incorporated. It's probably more flour than I actually needed, but it's okay. We've got salt and different seasonings in the flour, so the initial stage will have some flavor. And this is important because, you know, we're not frying real chicken, we're frying chicken that was mushroom, which has a slight flavor of chicken, but like frankly it doesn't have that much flavor on its own, and so it takes up the flavor of whatever you're cooking it with. And so the more seasonings you put into the things that are gonna be cooked onto the mushroom, the better it's gonna be, right? The more you season every single step, the better the final product is gonna be. And I think that's particularly important when we're cooking these chicken of the woods, kind of cutlets and nuggets, you know, because it's the mushroom itself isn't bringing as much flavor, as much fat as a normal piece of chicken would. So, got my stations here. Just trying to make sure I've got enough of everything. I'll probably need a little bit more breadcrumb here, given how much we've got. So I'm going to lay some more of that down. And like I said, yeah, I really like, now is not the time to skimp out on the seasonings. It's a good idea to really bump it up, make sure everything is nice and tasty. This porcini powder is one of my go-to secret ingredients for lots of umami, extra delicious food. Put porcini powder in a lot of what I cook, and it adds a really great, deep, savory umami flavor, which I'm very fond of. So, okay, got enough salt in all the steps here. Okay, maybe I'll, oops, okay, don't spill egg all over the place, Gordon. Calm down. I'll just move this so you guys can see this a little bit better. Is that, yeah, it shows up. Okay, so here's a big pile of chicken in the woods, and I'm gonna start working. And what I'm gonna try to do, and this is my best intention, whether or not I actually do a good job of this, is to have one dedicated wet hand, one dedicated dry hand, so I don't cross the wet and dry streams, and hopefully I don't make too much of a mess. But you know, it's cooking and we're frying, so it's always gonna be a mess. It's just how messy is it gonna be. So I'm loading up my pan over here with a good amount of cooking oil, and I'm just using like a nice neutral oil. I think this is either canola or peanut, I don't remember, but I fried with it before, so I kept it around, and I'm going to fry with it again. So okay, here's a dry. We're going to go into our wet. So there we go. Get some of that egg off, and we'll go right into our panko. Try to get this covered. Don't want to get it too thick or anything like that. We just want all the wet spots covered and get the panko to kind of adhere. And what's nice is because I already cooked this chicken in the woods, I'm not worried about trying to cook it in the pan. I know my mushroom is cooked. And that's really important for chicken in the woods, because chicken in the woods can make you pretty sick if it's undercooked. There's a lot of oxalic acid in chicken in the woods, and that can make you pretty sick. You know, oxalic acid is the same stuff that's in a lot of like spinach and veggies and things like that. And frankly, that's usually why we cook vegetables, because it reduces the amount of oxalic acid in them and makes them safer to eat a lot of them. So sometimes like raw vegans and stuff will suffer health consequences because they eat too much raw stuff, and then they have issues with oxalic acid. So, you know, chicken in the woods is a great edible mushroom. It's a great one for beginners because it's super easy to identify. But it does have the caveat that some people get sick from it when they eat it, and it's not everybody. It's a fairly rare reaction. But I think the number of people that get sick from it goes up if your chicken in the woods is not cooked thoroughly, because a lot of people react badly to oxalic acid. There's only about 1 in 20 people react poorly to chicken lids in general. So it's, it's a good idea to kind of understand the risks, and you can mitigate those risks by pre-cooking your chicken lids. Because what happens is people undercook this when it's raw, because they'll do this dredge and fry. But if the oil's too hot, it'll just cause the breading to burn and brown before the mushroom actually gets cooked. And so I do this pre-cook step, and I really like that. I think that's a very useful thing to do, and it just takes away a lot of the guesswork and the worry. And that's, for me, that's valuable. So this is a really good bag of chicken lids. I scored when I found this one. There's been some really nice specimens, some really, really big, nice big pieces. It's nice to find these big kind of cutlet things, because it allows you to make stuff with them later. You want to make sandwiches, you want to make chicken lid sliders, you want to do sort of a chicken parm thing. All that works really well with these nice big pieces. So I can see already I'm probably going to need more panko. It's starting to run out, but it's okay. We'll just keep going as long as we can. Oh, here's some more like nuggety pieces. So nuggety pieces, we'll turn a couple of these at the same time. This is good. So I'm not looking at the chat, but if anyone's watching, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And if no one's watching, that's YouTube. That's what I get. Usually I do my cooking streams on Instagram, because I get like 200 people watching. But then there's just a lot of stress. I gotta make sure my Instagram cooking streams are good. And this is a good one, but I don't, sometimes the Instagram ones, I try to make them not go on too long. And I posted about chaga earlier today on Instagram, and I'm gonna let that ride without dropping another live stream on top of it. So I'm just doing this here on YouTube, which is fine. I'm always trying to figure out how to get more engagement, more users on YouTube, because it's a hard platform, And I kind of know what people want from me. People want to see longer format foraging videos from me, but those are hard to make. I got a lot of respect for Adam Harriton and Yellow Eleanor, who make some really, really phenomenal content on YouTube that does very well. And I know I could make content like them. I don't have a professional editor. I have enough footage. Most of what I film is in vertical format rather than horizontal, and I don't know how to use all the editing software and all the music and the rights, and there's just so much that goes into it. It's complicated. So okay, I'll point you guys at the pan here so you can see what I'm doing. Oil's nice and shimmery, so it's warm. And we're gonna start frying our chicken lids here. Put our heat down just a little bit, because I think this will probably brown off pretty quick. There we go. Oh man, nice fry. Nice fry. So while these are frying, I'm gonna go get to work on another batch of cutlets here. There we go. So I'll probably let those fry in a pretty short amount of time, probably only about a minute or two per side. Because again, the mushroom is cooked, and that's why I like pre-cooking my mushroom, because I really don't have to worry about it. I'm just doing it to kind of brown out the breadcrumbs and make it extra tasty at this point, and cook the egg kind of thing. So it's a useful strategy. Yeah, definitely gonna need more panko. I always go through that stuff pretty quickly. This is a fairly breadcrumb heavy process, but that's a good thing. Yeah, it's really the flavor of chicken lids like this comes from all the breadcrumbs and the seasonings and the things you put on it. And that's, you know, when people say, oh, it tastes like chicken, you're like, well, it has the texture of chicken, but the flavor of the chicken is just coming from the ingredients that you're cooking with it. You know, because a mushroom is not chicken. Just inherently doesn't actually taste like chicken. It has sort of a light, lemony, polypore-like flavor, which is hard to describe to people that aren't familiar with mushrooms, but polypores kind of taste like wood in a good way. You know, they're not, if you get them young, they're not tough. They're delicious and tasty. Hey, sweetie.
Yum.
Mm.
Do you need any help?
I'd love some help if you want to help me. Yeah.
Are you on live?
I'm doing a YouTube stream, so there's one person watching.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the difference between like YouTube versus Instagram or TikTok or something like that. You know. But I'm just gonna flip these. What's nice about YouTube is then it's like it's Googleable. You know, so when Google's like how to cook chicken in the woods, maybe they'll see this video, and hopefully you'll learn something. And if not, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, you know how to the jam here.
I do know it.
You know how to do the dance.
Thank you, one person that is watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, one person.
You can't like read what they're saying while you.
Yeah, it's harder to see the comments on this. I don't know if people usually leave comments on the YouTube streams, but. So yeah, just grab, do the thing, move around. I'll start pulling these off.
So.
Diane and Philippe said they'd be over. Just do one at
At
a
what
time.
time?
Well, I said 7, but
Sweatpants. So.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's fine.
cool. So it is flour.
Dredge it.
Flour.
Do one piece at a time.
Okay, this one.
Dredge it, and then do the egg. And then once you put the flour on, try to knock most of the flour off because you're just trying to like get a dry surface. You can just kind of like, bang it kind of thing. Here you go.
Okay.
And then dip it. Use the fork to submerge it. Boop. Turn it over. Try not to get both hands, all like sticky and clubby and stuff like that because that's no fun. And then just
my sticky hand.
yeah, use your dry hand to like put the breadcrumbs on, and you're good to go. So I'm just letting these cook till they're nice and golden brown. It's all looking pretty good. Yeah, we don't have to do the whole bag, but I figured we might as well blast through.
I'm gonna do my physical therapy before they come.
Okay.
But I can finish this before that.
Yeah. Yes, we're only gonna fry a couple more batches.
You want to finish this whole bag?
I said we don't have to.
Oh, we don't have to. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some smaller nuggets out since these are nice brown off. A couple of these could probably still go for another minute or two. Turn the heat up just a little bit. So again, yeah, I'm really only just kind of frying the breadcrumbs and the egg and stuff here. The mushroom is mostly cooked. So let them drain just a bit, and I'm removing the chicken lids to a towel or rack there with a towel. So you guys can see all the action here. Let them drain. Put them over here. Just make sure it stays nice and hot. Make sure there's enough oil. This is just a process. Oh, it smells really good though. And these, what I do with these is I'm going to probably put a little bit of tomato sauce on them. So I just made some like nice homemade tomato sauce with tomatoes from the garden. And I'm going to take this and the chicken cutlets, spoon the tomato sauce on them, put some mozzarella and some Parmesan on them, and then I will like broil or bake them for a few minutes, and then put them on some sliders. But you can also layer this up and make a real like a chicken parm out of these with bechamel and and lots of sauce and cheese and stuff like that. So. Okay, we're gonna come in with another batch. Make sure it's still hot. Okay, go in. Fry, fry, fry. You got any more pieces for me, babe?
That one.
Take that. Here. Plate. So you still don't want to overcrowd the pan despite the fact that you're not cooking like raw meat. You want to keep enough oil and everything moving around. And probably after this round of the chicken, I'll put another little bit of oil in there. So. Yeah, Diane Philippe. Well, I told Philippe 7, and he's like, we can probably come a little bit earlier than that. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Well, then I want to
So,
get
yeah,
changed since I'm
you can-
in sweatpants.
If you want to go for it, you can do it now. I will.
You
finish.
want like one more round of this, or?
I can do it. Well,
Okay.
these are fine.
I'll do this one.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is a really like nice bag of chicken lids. They're really big pieces. Really.
They're
nice,
beautiful.
Nice fatty ones. Is probably.
Is this from last year?
Yeah, it's probably the best like bag of them that I got from last year. So.
Have you checked your spot?
I mean, I went down there last week, and there was not activity on like the main drag, but on some of the stumps outside of the barbecue place had some.
Oh, cool.
So. But you know, we just haven't been eating it, so I was like, "There's no. We have so much in the freezer. It's like no need to pick anything fresh till we actually use up some of the stuff in the freezer." I found a bag. I was like going through the freezer today, and I found a bag from like 2 years ago that was like all freezer burn. And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna just toss this." So I'm just cooking chicken in the woods here, doing a quick shallow pan fry in neutral veg oil with pieces that I breaded up with a first dredge in flour and egg wash and panko breadcrumbs. And every single step along the way, I've been careful to season. So I added porcini powder, garlic powder, and oregano and salt to my dredge, to my egg wash, and to my panko. And so every component here is flavored and tastes good. And that's important with chicken lids, because chicken lids itself doesn't have that much flavor. So if you want it to taste like chicken, if you want it to have that essence of, you know, chicken and all this stuff, you got to really season your breading. And that's sort of an important point when you're doing this stuff. So, okay. Also important, don't let this stuff burn. You know, want to make sure you get nice and crispy, but not too brown. So I need to make sure I pay attention to what I'm doing here. I'm going to flip these all over. I like to fry with chopsticks. It's a good way to kind of keep your hands out of the action and get a lot of control over your fry. So. Yeah, those are moving along pretty good. See, really nice action of the oil. Oops. Okay. We should have some chicken nuggets left for you to eat during the week if you want them.
Yes, please.
Yes,
My
please.
favorite.
Yeah. Jerry really likes eating the smaller pieces of chicken lids that have been fried up like this as a snack. She'll just throw a little bit of buffalo sauce on them.
Ranch.
Ranch. Oh, ranch. Okay, it's not buffalo
Don't get it
sauce. It's
twisted.
it's the ranch. That's really what she wants. Okay, so that batch in the pan is probably just about ready to come out, and that's good because I got another batch here that is all ready to go. So come over here and check these. I'll use my handy dandy little spatula to help me move these out. So the center one is definitely done. That's nice and brown. Let that drain off. Move that to the side. This one looks good and crispy. Drain off. Yeah, these are looking great. Beautiful little chicken nuggety things. This one could use a second more. I'll get that. That side of the pan's not quite as hot. Okay. Those look good. Just a second. What do you guys think of my technique, huh? Am I doing okay? Oop. Try to move this so we're centered. There we go. Yeah, so these are pretty well cooked. I'm just making sure that everything is crispy and brown. Again, I cooked the mushroom ahead of time, so I'm unlike, frying raw chicken nuggets where you really have to worry about making sure the mushroom gets cooked through. I don't have any of that anxiety because I know the mushroom is cooked. I know it's good to go. So I'm going to add just a little bit more cooking oil to the pan here because I've been using it up as I fry through these. Okay, I'm going to make some more room for more chicken nuggets to go down. Just let that extra oil heat up real quick. And we'll be good to go with our fresh batch of breaded chicken nuggets. Nice big piece. Oh yes. Put you right in the middle. I'm gonna put some smaller pieces around the edge. There we go. There we go. Fry, my pretties, fry.
Oh, Gordon.
What'd you get? Oh, that's cute. Oh, just got a Jake plushie. Jerry and I are gonna do Adventure Time for Halloween this year. She's gonna be Princess Bubblegum, and I was gonna be Finn. So she got me a Jake plushie. Jake the dog. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so those are frying. So I'm going to do, I think, maybe one more batch of chicken nuggets here. And I will dredge and bread, and then we'll be done. And I'll be ready to make some sliders when my friends come for dinner. Okie doke. This can be a very efficient process. Great way to make some food for the week, And there's basically zero guilt because this is all mushroom, not meat. I don't have to worry about factory farming. I don't have to worry about how many pieces of different chickens I'm eating. I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian, but I do appreciate food that has a lower, impact on our world. Chicken's not nowhere near as bad as beef, but it's still not great. It's a very water-intensive process, and per pound of chicken is still something like 900 gallons of water, whereas like a pound of mushrooms is something like 10 gallons of water in terms of the amount of resources it takes to make food happen. And so I think highly of mushrooms as a good sustainable source of protein, and it makes me happy to eat lots of them. My body feels good, my mind feels good. There's lots of good nutrition and protein in mushrooms. They're really a good food. I'm not going to call them like a miracle food, because I think the whole sort of concept of like perfect foods and miracle foods and all that kind of stuff is like totally overblown, and people end up sort of fetishizing diets and fads instead of just eating what's good for you. So I try not to like overstate what they are, but I think mushrooms are a fantastic food, especially you get them for free. If you go and forage your mushrooms, you're coming home with free dinner. So if I was like cooking up this much chicken, it would be, $30-40 worth of chicken, something like that. Maybe not that much. Chicken's kind of cheap, but I like this. It's better for me than real chicken, and I like honestly the flavor and the texture of these nuggets more than real chicken nuggets. So this works for me. I'm quite fond of it, and it's all local food that I foraged here in Napa, and yeah, delicious, sustainable, nutritious, all those things. So gotta love that. Oh, hey, Teeps. There's my cat. Yeah, no. My cat got a lot of good lap time today, so don't feel bad for her. She can never really get enough attention. She always wants more. Isn't that right, Teeps? Meow, meow. Okay, those are getting nice and brown, so I'm going to turn these over. You guys hear a good sizzle? Ooh, yeah, good sizzle. I'll turn these over. They look fantastic. Really golden brown, delicious. Great chicken nuggets. Very tasty. So, cheers to anyone who watches this. Okay. Just got a few more pieces of chicken to get through here. Almost done. I did a pretty good job of measuring out all the ingredients. I used a lot more panko than I thought I would, but now the eggs and flour have been pretty spot on, so I'm happy with that. I'm not wasting a bunch of eggs or flour as I put these chicken nuggets together. We've got about enough breadcrumbs for one or two more pieces of nugget, so that's what we'll do. Those nuggets in the pan are almost done, so be careful not to burn anything. You want to really keep an eye on stuff. It's important. Okay. Washing some of the junk off my fingers. Oh, we're good to go. So, oh yeah, that looks great. My bad. drain for a second, move it to the towel. Just kind of go around and take out the pieces that look nice and brown. Give everybody else a second more to finish cooking through. Get those breadcrumbs really crispy. Crispy, crispy. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, beautiful. A second more. This one's good to go. About a second too. Probably put just a tiny bit more oil in this pan before I go to fry the next batch, just to make sure everything is getting nice and crisp. Don't skimp out on the oil here. Mushrooms don't have any fat to begin with, so it's really important that you cook your mushrooms with some fat. Otherwise, they won't hold a lot of flavor, and fat is what helps move flavor around in your mouth and on your food. So it's a pretty important ingredient. You don't need to be afraid of fat. It's not bad for you. You've been lied to. The sugar industry somehow convinced people that fat was their enemy when it was really sugar, processed carbs that were making people fat, not fat. Fat is an essential nutrient that we all need as human beings, and is, there's different kinds of fat, granted. Saturated fats aren't as good for you as like polyunsaturated plant fats. But I'm using plant fats to fry this. Yeah, I have fried these with lard, thinking it might make a even better flavor. And it was okay, but it wasn't really noticeably any better than the vegetable oil. And vegetable oil's cheaper and potentially better for you, so that's usually what I fry with. I do like peanut oil of all the oils out there. I think peanut is a pretty good one. It definitely has, I think, the best flavor of most of vegetable oils. The other one you can use that's more similar to animal fat is coconut fat. The coconut fat has a very distinct flavor, and I don't always want my food to taste like coconut. Also, it's pretty fatty, and it can be not so great for you because it does have a lot of saturated fats in it. And if you're watching your cholesterol and stuff like that, then maybe coconut fat is not the best replacement. It's the best, if you're looking for pork fat, coconut fat is about as close as you can get with a plant fat, but it still is not a substitute really for like butter or pork fat, but that's okay. I like, for this thing, just using some good neutral vegetable oil is fine. Totally fine. Drop our little nuggets in around the edges here. Get, 1 or 2 more in there. Careful not to burn myself. There we go. Got them all in. Everybody in the pool. Cool. So, did a good job of using up almost all my chicken lids and almost all of my toppings and breadings and stuff here. Got a nice, huge platter of perfectly fried chicken lids here. Looking really good. Super crispy. Super delicious. It'll be great to have this all week as food we can eat. So just doing some prep for later. Okay, last batch of it. Almost there. Okie doke. This is pretty good. Let's see, can we start turning these? These need a minute. Yeah, those are good. Let's start flipping these over. You know, different parts of the pan fry at slightly different temperatures, and it's a thicker versus thinner piece. Sometimes it doesn't get dark quite as quickly. So I'm just trying to kind of play the pan here, play the angles. Oh yeah, that's a good piece. All right. Make sure, again, importantly, that you have enough oil to really fry this stuff. You don't want to skimp on the oil. You want a really nice, good golden brown fry on these nuggets. That's how they taste their best. Let me get this piece a little deeper in the pool. There you go, get nice and crispy. Okay, so these are looking great. Nice and brown and crispy. Oh yeah. Crispy. So, make sure they're all thoroughly browned. We got small nuggets done. Again, the bigger or smaller the pieces are, sometimes they cook faster, just like real chicken. It's all about surface area, you know. So, and where the pan is hottest. There we go. Turn that a little bit crispier on that side. There we go. Everybody gets really good and crispy. That's important. We want that. Move it back just a little bit here so you can see the whole spread, all the stuff. Alrighty. So we're pretty much cooked here. Everybody's good and crispy and fried. Beautiful. As always, just a little bit of salt on these freshly fried pieces. And yeah, there you have it. Whole bunch of delicious fried chicken of the woods. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do this on live because I'm going to do this when my friends show up, but I will show you guys. I will take some of this delicious tomato sauce. I will smear it on top of one of these pieces. And then I will put a nice piece of fresh mozzarella on top with a little bit of this pecorino romano, or Parmesan, whatever you want. Salty cheese. And then stick that under the broiler, maybe with a little bit of oregano or basil for just a minute or two till it gets all kind of nice and melty. And then I'll put it on top of a little slider bun, and it will be absolutely delicious. So that's it. Here you have it. It is chicken of the woods time here in California, and man, it's tasty stuff. So anyhow, appreciate you guys paying attention to me and listening to my ramblings on cooking and all that stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle too many things here at once. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you want to learn more from me, check out my website, fastedbyfung.com. If you want to see more of my cooking or have questions for me, join my Patreon. If you want to see just more of my content, please check out my Instagram, my TikTok, my Pinterest, my Twitter, all the things. Yeah, thanks YouTube. Have a good one. Bye.